The front man from the band Johnny Lives is Johnny Dabowski, and he's here today. And Johnny, his band is really making waves right now, and so I'm sure now that you're going to get to hear him sing and then talk about a company that he just started pretty recently called Rock and Renew. Now Johnny is a huge environmentalist, and he's always been interested in ways of preserving the environment, and that sort of gave him the impetus to start this company, Rock and Renew. And so he's going to talk to you about the company, and he's also going to play for us, which is going to be excellent. Looking forward to that. But what's really exciting is Rock and Renew is in its infancy, and Johnny is looking for support, especially from kids, because you guys are the future. And Browning is really excited to be able to help Johnny and Rock and Renew in any way possible. So we're going to develop a partnership with him and his company and his band, and it's going to be pretty neat to see what happens next. So I'm going to pass the mic to Johnny. Has a presentation. He's going to play, and here you go. Welcome. Big round of applause.
Hello. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me here today. I'm just curious, when you guys were getting ready to come to school today, how many of you guys turned off the light in your room before you left the house? Alright, that's good. How many of you know how many miles you drove this week in a car or a taxi or any type of vehicle? Okay, so a few less. And how many of you guys know, when you're driving with your parents or you're taking a taxi, you use regular gasoline, which is it's called a fossil fuel. How many of you guys know how many miles per gallon your car that your parents might have gets? All right. So these are a few questions. I'm going to be giving you guys an energy survey to take home and do with your parents, and we're going to try and figure out some things about energy, so that you guys can learn a little bit about energy use and energy conservation, and also about different fuel methods that we use. I have a rock and roll band, as Mr. Dunham was telling you guys, and we just went on a tour of the country with this really big band called Everclear. Everclear sold about 10 million records, and we went on a 9,000-mile tour with them, basically driving across the entire country, backwards and forwards and down and up. And when I was getting ready to do the tour, I was looking at buying a van. And when I was, you guys are in middle school, right? 6th, 7th, 8th grade? When I was in the 7th grade and I was growing up, I grew up in New Jersey, in Tenafly. And I had a teacher in 7th grade who was a really big environmentalist, and she was teaching us about energy and how many miles per gallon your car gets. And even this is 10 years ago, I really didn't know what it meant to increase your energy use or decrease it. And I started to learn that really the choices that you make when you're your age, they really do affect the whole world. So when I started to get ready for this tour, I was looking at getting a van that did the best for the environment that it could. And I found this van that actually runs on an alternate fuel, which I'm gonna be teaching you guys a little bit about different types of fuel and regular fuel versus alternative fuel. And the van I drove in actually got twice as many miles per gallon, and it ran on a fuel that was made from corn instead of oil. And corn is something that we grow here in the States, and we can continuously grow it, and we won't be using up the supplies. So when I did this tour, I started talking to schools along the way, and I also started talking to people in other bands, like this band, The Strokes, and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and the Fountains of Wayne, and all these big rock bands. These are all friends of mine that I've known since I was growing up around New York City. And I'm getting them all involved in this great project called Rock and Renew. And I'm basically getting all these bands on my record label as well to give concert tickets and autographs and backstage passes and CDs and t-shirts. And it's all going to be given out to students across the country who help us to make changes for the environment. So we figured nothing like good old rock and roll to get you guys excited about doing some good stuff for the world. So I'm going to show you a little clip of just this piece that I'm putting together for MTV, and it's me talking with a couple of different artists, and we'll give you a little more idea about the project. Then I'm going to play a song for you guys to get you ready and wake up on a Friday, and then we'll talk a little bit about the environment. So I'm going to play a little clip here.
It only very recently occurred to me that my personal choices could affect the environment, because unfortunately I wasn't quite although I had a great education, I was never properly educated on the importance of recycling and environmental issues, which only now is becoming a serious issue has it really come to light that you should know more about it, and that's really sad. I feel like if I was raised knowing more about it, then perhaps the world or we wouldn't be in the current horrible situation that we are in.
Alright. Hey, it's Johnny D from Johnny Lives. I'm here with Calvin. How's it going? And we're talking about the environment. We are flying monkeys. Flying monkeys as well. Things like hair dryers, cell phone chargers, and televisions use energy. The energy used to keep display clocks lit and memory chips working accounts for 18 million tons of carbon released into the atmosphere every year. So go for that natural look and turn off your TV. Hey, we're Big City Rock, and remember to rock and renew.
Thinking about it and acting that way, just sort of as this is the way it's done, this is the way, and I think that's, as you say, education is exactly right.
Yeah.
I think one of the best recycling countries that I ever visited was the UK.
Yeah.
Because they have, they separate their glass into white glass, green glass, and brown glass.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it doesn't take that much.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, and looking forward to just getting this word out to you. So.
Yeah, I think it's terrific.
Hey, this is Johnny from Johnny Lives, and I'm here with Debbie Harrod. Remember to rock and renew. Hey, it's Johnny from Johnny Lives. I'm here with Art Alexakis from Everclear, and we just want to remind you guys to rock